Hey guys, what is going on? Dylan here. What I got for you today is another build video. We're going to be focusing on a Strand Hunter build. Now, this is a creation of my buddy's. He told me about it. I tested it out, and I absolutely had to create a video on it because of how in love with this build I am. Phenomenal when it comes to ad clear. Phenomenal when it comes to survivability. You're constantly getting woven mail. You're constantly getting overshields from the Void Moss. It is an excellent build and very fun too. For the exotics, it's going to feature Moth Keeper's Wraps and then optionally Exdearus. Now, his build did not include Exdearus. His build was Rufus's Fury, Indebted Kindness, and Crux Termination. I swapped out Indebted Kindness for Exdearus just for the additional creation of moths because I just want moths everywhere with this build. His build is more focused on endgame content. Obviously, Sidearm's going to be dealing with those barrier champions. But if you're using this on a, say, easier activity or an activity that doesn't have barrier champions, I would strongly recommend Exdearus just to kind of go on theme with the additional moth creation and ad clear. The void moths are going to be everywhere, so you're constantly going to have overshields, constantly going to have woven mail, and not to mention the ad clear from everything. So for the build itself, we're going to be using Silk Strike, Threaded Spike, Grapple. Now, Grapple, obviously, that's going to be replaced with our Loyal Moss. We're only using Grapple for the reduced cooldown time. It's the lowest cooldown time for any Strand grenade. Widow's Silk for the additional grenade charge. And finally, Whirling Maelstrom for those tangles to just pretty much go crazy, ad clearing everything in an area. Which is exactly what it does. For the fragments, we're going to be using Thread of Ascent, Thread of Transmutation, Thread of Warding, and Thread of Generation. Thread of Warding, picking up an Orb of Power is going to give you Woven Mail. Thread of Transmutation, while you have Woven Mail, it's going to create a Tangle. Thread of Generation, dealing damage, grenade generates great energy. And then Thread of Ascent, activating that grenade is going to reload your weapons and give you some airborne effectiveness. If you're going to be using Exdearus, I would probably recommend switching Thread of Ascent out with something else, just because Exdearus does shoot from reserve, so you never have to reload that weapon. But if you're going to be using like Rufus's Fury a lot, I would strongly recommend that Thread of Ascent, just for the kind of more fluidity, I guess, of the gameplay. Now, for mods, I would strongly recommend something like Ashes to Assets, since we're going to be using lots of grenades. Grenade Kickstart, especially when you pair that with Charged Up, you're going to get 5 armor charges. So that's going to give you tons of energy towards your next moth. Firepower, just for the additional orb creation. And then, things like Innervation to get to, picking up orbs is going to give you more grenade energy. Things that just give you grenade energy. And then I would also put in Powerful Attraction, since there's going to be so many orbs in an area. Once you dodge, obviously all of those come to you and giving you Woven Mail, especially when you're dodging if you're in like a bind, things like that. And the cool thing with this is, here's some more gameplay of me using Exdearus, just moths everywhere. You see the Woven Mail just constantly being procced. But the cool thing with this build is you're not really sacrificing anything. You're not sacrificing on damage because you still do have, say, your power weapon. Here I am still using a Crux Termination, and I still have my Rufus's Fury, even though it is Exdearus that I'm swapping out between that and Indebted Kindness. I think Rufus's Fury with Demolitionist and Hatchling is the way to go, or any weapon. For example, Perpetualis can also get Demolitionist and Hatchling, I believe. But any Demolitionist weapon, Strand weapon, would be phenomenal with the build. I'm using Crux Termination just to be on the theme with Arc. Obviously, Indebted Kindness' Arc, Exdearus' Arc, so I'm just kind of staying on that same theme of Arc. That's why I'm using Crux Termination. But you could use any weapon, really. You could use a Strand damaging weapon. You could use, what is the new, oh my god, the Edge Transit, which is phenomenal when it comes to damage. It's, lots of options when it comes to damage, whatever you're comfortable with. And then, obviously, just with this build specifically, how it was designed, any Sidearm is great with it. Exdearus, obviously, if that's what you're going to use, is great. And then any primary with Demolitionist is what I would mainly focus if you're going to use this. But it's really just kind of adjusting it to your playstyle, what you like or what works for you. But this is what I found works. I'm in love with the build. I really am. So this is now my new Strand Hunter build, just from here on out. Probably will take this into day one of the final shape. So, but that is it. That is the build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like, maybe consider subscribing, and yeah, that is all I got. That is the build. It is fun. Give it a shot. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. You have a good day. Love you. Bye.